The sidecar.
I think it was Cameron. Who was he talking about? Jim Jones. He was like, Jim Jones, you a sidecar nigga.
The side.
You know what I mean? You ain't even on the bike.
That is crazy.
Yeah. He tore up Jimmy.
Oh, everything. Let's get into this next joint. Watch, you gonna trip off this shit right here, big bro. Oh my mama. Tell me if you can hear the joint too.
Word.
Who robs a bank driving a Rolls Royce? Well, according to the feds, it's 41-year-old Dorian Sykes, who has a history of robbing banks and writing books. Yeah, check it out. The King of Detroit, The Good Life, The Lost Jewels.
Apparently he's not a great author because he's robbing banks again.
Sykes has been convicted of bank robbery multiple times, dating back to 2002. He's once again been arrested. His latest caper, according to the feds, robbing a credit union and local bank in luxury vehicles. Retired Detroit Police Assistant Chief Steve Dolan says in his decades of work, he's never seen that.
This clown got in a Rolls Royce and a Mercedes. Most people have a nondescript car and they do that because they don't have a lot of money. But again, he's a legend in his own mind.
And part of his latest legend, March 6th, Sykes is accused of targeting this credit union in Sterling Heights. Investigators say Sykes is believed to have handed the teller a note. When they couldn't read it, he said, "This is a robbery." That's when he asked for big bills, and the teller gave him about $10,000 before he fled. That was in a black Mercedes crossover. The FBI says he fled the Chase Bank robbery in Lathrop Village on March 12th in the rented Rolls Royce. Police had tailed him, but he ditched the luxury SUV and got away for a time. Now he's facing federal charges, and the author of Going All Out is doing just that, planning to defend himself in court.
He really thinks he's something. I mean, in his mind, he thinks he's the real deal, like, you know, modern day Bonnie and Clyde without a gun. I'm going to defend myself. It's like, dude, get with it.
If convicted, Sykes faces up to 20 years in prison. At least he's got new material for his next novel.
So now, that is what you call art imitating life.
Facts. He is,
because that's what I always called my music. I tried to the best of my ability make it art imitating life, you know, drawing from actual life experiences. This dude's like, all right, you know, he writes all these books after committing the crime. That's kind of ill. Like, it's still stupid, you know what I mean? But it's kind of ill.
Do you remember that we covered that story about a couple of weeks ago?
Mm-hmm. We're broke. They were renting all the luxury cars.
That's him.
That's the same, bruh.
That's him.
Oh, shit. So this fool's a writer even.
He's an author. He's an author, bro, robbing the bank. So that story we talked about.
Hold on, I'll be right back. I got to take the baby to the potty.
On my mama. So, yeah, yo, that story that we talked about last week where the police went and found the Rolls Royce, because in that same news story from the Detroit News last week, you know, they were trying to put two and two together of who was robbing the banks in the Rollys Royce Cullinan, and I forgot what type of Benz they said it was. He said it's a crossover, so a mixture of an SUV and a sports car, you know what I mean? So 2 weeks ago they didn't know who it was, you know what I mean? And they did an interview with the owner of the rental car company. You know what I mean? The news story did. At first, the police came to him and was like, bro, the owner of the rental car company, like, bro, you robbing banks in your cars? And he like, nah, man, this, you know, I'm renting these motherfuckers out. You know what I mean? So we see the Rolls Royce in the news story in a driveway somewhere in Detroit or outside of Detroit, somewhere in the surrounding areas where it's on a flatbed and the police hit the house. 100% in the story we just seen, it said that he fled after he hit the bank in the Rolls Royce, shook the police and ditched the car. So boom, that shows in that last story when the police found the motherfucker, right? So they put two and two together and found out it was the motherfucking author, this dude named Dorian Sykes. Oh my mama. So yeah, it didn't take too long for him to put two and two together, because like I said, either because when we talked about it last week, we didn't know whoever was renting the car, was they scamming with cards, was they paying for cash? However it was a digital footprint, or however
they had money.
There it is. He had bank robbery money.
That's what I'm saying. And remember, they had caught him with 100 bands and jewels and shit, right? Was that the same story?
Nah, that was a different story.
Oh, that's a different story. Okay. Still though, this dude, bravo to dude. You know, I mean, he already didn't. You know, it's funny because he found a way out, started writing these books and whatnot. But I guess it's not enough. He's like, listen, I gotta hit another. I got one more caper in me.
Well, they said he'd been arrested for a prior bank robbery in 2002.
Yeah.
So bruh been doing this shit.
Here's the thing too. Do the credit unions even have cash on hand like that? Because most banks only have certain cash on hand that's ordered.
Well, they said that the last bank that he hit, they gave him 10 bands. He hit
because that's probably all they had on hand.
Well, that was just from one teller.
Ooh. Okay, he was just okay. He was in and out like the bandit.
Come on now.
Yeah, you know what? Shout out to him. Very clever until it's not.
Right.
I mean, because at the end of the day, he was still writing entire books about. And then any real good detective wants to go, it's like even that detective was like, "You're a fucking idiot." He's basically telling me he was stupid because like they go read the books. Once they tied it into he writing books about it.
Well, some of his books is showed on there like the covers because I ain't too familiar with bruh 100%. But since bruh from Detroit, he's written about Big Meech. It had Big Meech on the motherfucking cover. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I don't know if he's necessarily writing about the robberies because he might just be. You know what I mean? But he's specifically an author. You know what I mean?
He did. There was like the King of the Detroit one. Then there was another cover they showed. I think that one was definitely referring to some bank robbers and shit.
Oh my mama, 100%. Oh my mama. But yeah, that's crazy though, because like I said, we just did that first story either a week. It can only be 2 weeks ago at the most. You know what I mean? And here it is now. We found out who it was that was doing this shit. You know what I mean?
Shit, you ain't lying.
That shit crazy.
That is kind of tight though. Look at that. That's why you gotta stay tapped in with the OJ.
Come on now. Hey, this is what we do, man. 100%. We are the digital newspaper bringing y'all these stories 100%. Shout out.
That's a wild story right there, man.
100%, bro. Oh, my mama. I'm telling you, you know what I mean? It's going to be more shit where we get part twos because, you know what I mean?
Hey, you know what, though? I appreciate this, dude. We need more fancy robberies. If you're going to pull a lick, do it in style. Nothing like a Rolls Royce.
Peacock said, I like how he's an author, handed them a note and they couldn't read it. LO. Right. Hey, for real. Like floppy as shit. Oh, everything. Oh, my
God. You know, a lot of geniuses are crazy.
Come on now. 100%. They say doctors got the worst handwriting there is.
You know, see, if I was a motherfucker, right? I'll learn how to write enough with my left hand because I'm right-handed. That way they could be like, oh, this can't be him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's right-handed. Maybe that's what he was trying to do. He's probably going for that. Like, right. He went fake ambidextrous. You know what I mean? And they couldn't read his shit. They just a bunch of chicken scratch.
Hey, that's
because, put the money in the bag, bitch.
Hey, that's because they got forensic handwriting analysis. So he was like, yeah, if I write with my left hand and they don't put 2 and 2 together with my face, no case, hey, I might got a chance at beating this shit, even though I'm in lenses and shit. Oh, my mom.
My client clearly is right-handed.
Oh, everything. All they got to do is just look
at
your...
He's not ambidextrous.
Oh, my! All they got to do is look at your ID because you got to sign your ID, and that shit is on your ID 100%.
You ain't lying.
Facts. Oh, my mom.